I think we lost it.
Yeah, that was too close.
What happened? Did you talk to it?
No, I don't know why it aggroed.
Wait, where's your violin?
I had to drop it.
You what? That was a rental.
Well, I had to slow it down somehow.
Yeah, you know what? That's fine. At least it's gone.
Hey, did you guys drop this?
So let me take you all back to January of 2026, and my wife and I had recently gotten engaged, and nobody knew about her. Not on my channel, not on my Instagram, because I think some things in your personal life should stay personal. But we've been talking it over, and we both agreed eventually this would have to come out, and I didn't want to do something too big. I couldn't do something too small either, because, you know, it's a big moment in your life. I had a lot of emotions to sort through in January, which means usually for me writing a song. So I wanted to show you all how this particular song came to life, and it all started on BeatStars. BeatStars is a website where producers post their beats in order to sell them, and you can find anything on here. Drake beats, Harry Styles beats, fast Skepta Ski Mask Arab UK trap rap voodoo type beats. Huh. Look at that. One day I was perusing on BeatStars, just taking a look around, seeing what they had, and I remembered there's this really nice indie pop song called Her by Jake, and I'd been recently singing it to my, at the time, fiance in the car, so I figured it'd be cool to write something that feels and sounds kind of like that vibe, so I looked up Jake Her type beat, and lo and behold, I found it. But before we talk about the next phase, I first need to show you a new product from Xvive. Alright, you about ready for the show? Yeah, are my in-ears all good? Oh, they'll be great. Wow, these are really nice. Well, thanks. We just upgraded our in-ear system to the Xvive U45. So how does it work? Do you just plug and play? Basically, plug it into an output from an XLR cable and then turn on your receiver and it works from there. Wait, does this thing have stereo? It does, but you can always set it to mono if you like. So there's no antenna or large server system? No, everything's built to be small and portable. Oh, what about my drummer? He has in-ears too. Oh, that's easy. Simply buy another receiver, hop on the same channel, and you're ready to go. Wow, that's really easy. Exactly, plug and listen. It's pretty simple. Xvive has been a long sponsor of the channel, and if you're in need of better gear or looking for an in-ear system, I recommend the U45D, and thanks to Xvive for sponsoring this video. Okay, I got engaged, I bought a beat, and now we start writing. I started the day by loading up Pro Tools and I dragged the stems into a blank project, and now that I had all the stems, I started to look deeper into the beat and notice some problems, like this section didn't really build enough, this section didn't have any drums, this section was just bad, and so very slowly I started carving out the sections I liked and taking out what I didn't, until I ended up with something that wasn't very coherent, so I knew it was time to splice things up. You get it? Splice is another production software that has a collection of these things called samples. Now, these samples are made by other producers that are basically little sound bites or loops I can drag from this window into my project. So as I was testing samples out and continuing to construct the song, I ended up making some pretty cool parts, like this double drum part here that reminds me of the Drums of Liberation from One Piece. I also added this little pizzicato part I made from scratch. And then I ran into this. Now this sample doesn't say anything, it's kinda just airy vocals, but for some reason my reptilian brain heard the words "runaway." So originally I was gonna call this song "Runaway," but then I thought, hold on, that's 3 syllables. What if I break it into 3 words? And because I'm basing the song on her, I wanted to do something similar, so I ended up going with she's. But I was writing this song fresh off an engagement, and I was still processing a lot of these emotions and what I was going to be dealing with in the future, so the last words just kind of came to my brain was the one, so the song was now She's the One. At this point, I now had a title, theme, and even words, so I did consider writing full lyrics for this song, but first of all, I'm not very good at lyrics. Second of all, I'm a violinist, and sometimes I worry people are going to hear my voice and be like, "Boo! Just play violin for us. That's your name, right?" So I compromised. I'd done half vocals, half violin once before in a song called Voiceless, but this time the voice would be my own. I know. Scary. I recorded a bunch of vocals, put the chorus together, and now the song sounded like this. She's the one. She's the one. This sounds pretty good, and I was happy with how the song was developing, but before I pick up a violin, if you're enjoying this so far, make sure you like and subscribe. If you want me to cover another one of my songs, comment and let me know, and maybe I'll do another video like this one. Okay, time for the hard part. Violin parts are the hardest because if you mess up the melody, you mess up the song. So first I kind of fiddled around with a few different themes, but none of them really stuck. At this point, I was kind of unhappy with the song. I really wanted the melody to be iconic and memorable, and that reminded me of a Picasso quote: "Good artists copy, great artists steal." So this led me to looking up violin songs out there within the same genre, which led me to this guy, Joel Sonny, and you know, he had a small little song called Luminar. You probably heard it before, but in the chorus, it sounds like this. So I kind of picked it out by ear, and I was like, wait, what if I just took that and put it in my chorus? It's in a different key, but if that's the chorus I use, I take two songs that I like and kind of meld them together into my own. So I write a little bit on the chorus, and it works, it sounds good. So in order to differentiate between the chorus and the verse, I made the verse melodies feel very short and fiddle-like quick runs, quick notes, a lot of 8th and 16th notes, so that way you could feel the difference of how the song builds. It builds up to this long, beautiful chorus, and then back to kind of running through the field type vibe. So now we had longer notes during the chorus and shorter notes during the verse, but now I had to differentiate the two verses. So in the first verse, I only play on the D and A string really to build up to that soaring chorus section, and then in order to keep that same energy but also keep the shortness of the notes, I played on the E and A string in the second chorus in order to differentiate the two of them. This gave the song a nice overarching feeling of the energy stayed high until the very end, where I slowly fade out with the chorus, and I think that it really just works good. That's another writing strategy of when you're trying to write something that has no vocals, you have to get creative and give yourself rules so the audience can follow the story of what you're trying to tell. And finally, after several revisions, it now started to sound like this. At this point, there was still one person who needed to approve this song, and she was deep into wedding planning, and I hadn't told her anything about it, so I was a little bit nervous. But after I sent her the first draft, she loved it. She was totally on board with it, and 5 months later, I finally got to add it to all our wedding photos on Instagram, and the whole world now knew that I, a violinist, am no longer scared of women.